They try to erase the signal. They pulled the plug, demonetized, censored, shadow banned. That's what they did to us. But the truth, my friend, will always find the frequency. I call this Operation Airwave Liberation because I'm not just back, I'm broadcasting from ruined. But this time, the airwaves is mine. And this time, it's uncensored. I watched them strip everything that we built. No warning, no explanation, silence, just taking everything away. 300 plus videos, deleted, all gone. And if you think this is about community guidelines, you've not been paying attention. This is a war. This is a digital gulag dressed in a terms of service type of way. They want us gone because we're saying things that they don't like. Maybe we're asking questions because we're curious. They don't like the questions we're asking. Or maybe we refuse to play nice in this echo chamber that we're in. They first hit me with the algorithm. The video is not getting enough views. Then they hit me with the monetization. Well, no money for you. But guess what? They forgot to hit my will. They thought that'll be enough. It's gonna cave and it's gonna run away. But guess what I did? I rebuilt, I rewired, I learned the game behind the curtains and see how they operate. I'm not just back. We're launching Operation Airwave Liberation. No filters, no masters, just signals. The signal they tried to block, but this time is very strong. The wind can't even penetrate through this. This, my friend, isn't just about me. It's about all of us. Every single voice that's been cancelled, clipped and used in the wrong way by the media. From now on moving forward, I'm not just creating content anymore. I'm sorry. I'm building a resistance on camera, off grid and above the algorithm. And if you are watching this, you are the resistance. This channel isn't just a platform. This is a broadcast tower for the truth. I'm glad I'm back.
You are listening.
He has admitted he didn't know the law had changed when he performed an Islamic marriage service known as a nikah for two 16-year-olds in his role as the Imam at Northampton's Central Mosque in November 2023. But ignorance of the law is not a valid defence, and today a judge gave him a suspended prison sentence. He'd been approached by the teenage girl to carry out the service after another mosque had said no.
Prosecuting this case, Jennifer Newcombe said it was incumbent on him to know and follow the law relating to marriage in the UK. But she added that both teenagers had told police that there was no pressure or coercion involved.
At a previous hearing, Osmani, who's 52, had pleaded guilty to 2 counts of causing a child to enter.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots, truth seekers, digital warriors, welcome back to the show. It is Tuesday, 20th January 2026, and I'm your host, hey, Baraka Amuri. There's a lot of things we need to talk about, folks. There's a lot of debates going on. We're talking about cousin marriage. Somehow we're debating that. We're debating whether, a cousin should marry their cousins, an uncle should marry his niece. I don't know, some crazy stuff like this. Now that's what we're debating, and it looks like it's not going to be banned. Now more informations are coming out that young people are being married. There's Imam out there performing. What's the law? What's this law? It's not a British law, of course we know that. The Sharia law. This Imam is performing Sharia law. He's getting 2 young people to marry each other. That's a problem. We need to talk about that. That's concerning. This is where we are today, folks. These are the headlines. The headlines, the debate is whether we should let 2 guys who have the same grandparents to marry each other. The debate today is not whether we should, go and conquer Greenland. No, that's not a debate in Britain. It's not whether we should keep the Chagos Island. That's not a debate. The debate now is like, should we let these 2 cousins marry each other? And the headlines is, an imam just let 2 kids marry each other and did the ceremony, and they paid him as well to get these guys to marry each other. Did he go to jail? Absolutely not. It's crazy. This is where we are today. So again, viewer discretion advised. If you're just reaching in, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. It's gonna be a good show for sure. It's gonna be a nice, lovely show. Very short. Very short, but we're not out of stories. We got a lot of stories, but it's just like we always pick the most important one. I mean, we could cover the Davos meeting, the way Trump is gonna slap all these globalist leaders. We can cover that. That is important too. But I try to focus more in domestic affairs. So yeah, let's get into it, folks. All right, here's what we're gonna cover today. As I said, we're gonna have a good show. We're gonna cover an imam who admits now to force 2 child to marry each other, 2 kids underage, and he didn't go to jail. I want to tell you the reason why. They didn't give any sort of big punishment. Next one is ISIS bride Shamima Begum could be back in Britain because of the ECHR. Yep, that's right. Islamists explode in rage in cousin marriage band debate. Yeah, these are the debates we're having now. And of course, the last one we're going to talk about, Starmer topping small boats crossing in record high in half a time. So this guy has been in power for 9 months or 10 months, right? And he's had more people crossing in the channel than Boris Johnson had his whole administration, his whole government. So Keir Starmer is not fumbling the bag. He's making sure he's topping the number. He's having at least he's having the highest record at once, right? We gotta give him, right? We might not like the record. We might not like what it is. But that's Keir Starmer topping Boris Johnson. By the way, Boris Johnson was there for years. Keir Starmer has been here for 9 months. And somehow he has had more people crossing the channel than Keir Starmer, than Boris Johnson had. That's insane, folks. And by the way, the second highest year of the highest crossing was 2022. And that was 49,000 people crossed illegally. But that was the highest one. Now today, Keir Starmer's top of that. Of course, Keir Starmer, he's not going to miss, right? He's not going to miss. All right, folks. Today we're repping the merch. As you already know, the nation needs to know. We're repping the merch today. So if you want to get yourself a little merch, you can get this one. The nation used to know. It's the same one that I'm wearing. Exactly the same. You got the Baraka Show logo here. And then you got the company logo over here. And of course, the big message. Big printed. Nice. It feels nice. It's actually so nice. You can go work out in this. You can do your push-ups. Yeah, you can go out there and do some running. People will be like, wow, no way. The nation needs to know. That's a good slogan. And they'll be wondering. They'll be curious where you get it from. Then you can tell them the Baraka Show. Or maybe you can get this one. It says, I fund the truth, not propaganda. A lot of people will look at it and think, man, this guy is heading somewhere. This guy's, I want to know where he spends his money to. He funds the truth, not propaganda. You can get that. There's many other merches that my team will usually tell me, like, hey, bro, you never really talk about your merch. You never really wear them. But I like the merch. So today I thought, all right, fuck it. Let's wear them. Let's present it. Let's show them the merch. Okay, cool. Let's get into these stories, folks. All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night to all of you guys. I'm sure you guys are tuning in from around the world. Let's get straight into these stories. Again, it's going to be a short live today, but it's going to be really important. Well, it is really important live. So an imam, Ashraf, I think that's what you say his name, Ashraf Usmani. An imam, Ashraf Usmani, has been sentenced. I'm not gonna tell you how long. I'm not gonna tell you if he's gonna spend the time in jail. Yeah, I'm gonna read it out to you so you can get full detail. All right. This imam performed a niqab ceremony. So that's a Sharia law, marriage stuff. That's a wedding, Sharia law marriage ceremony in the UK, and the reason why is because they didn't know that the law had changed That's the reason why he made two young people marry each other. Two young people. He got them married. And the reason why he got them married is because he didn't know the law had changed. So it doesn't. So it's not about. It's not about he wasn't using the wrong law. He wasn't using the right. He was using the wrong book, the wrong law. He wasn't using the British law. He was using the Sharia law, and he married two kids. So he's not saying, "Hey, I used the wrong law, guys. I'm sorry." No, he's saying, "I forgot that the law had changed." So it's like, bro, what are you talking about? If you followed the British law, the domestic, our law, not Sharia law, you would know that the law had changed. All right, you would know you can't marry a 16 to 17-year-old. You can't get them married because that had changed. But since you're using the wrong book, of course you won't know. Folks, you're gonna get enraged today. I think this story deserves 2-hour broadcast, but we'll see how long we can give it. You can just tell that there is a sign that Sharia law is trumping. Is you know, I mean, we got almost over 100 Sharia law courts in the UK now. So how many young people have been married to each other? We don't know. We'll never know. But the fact that the reason why we got to know about this case is also scary as well. Because actually, folks, let me just read you the article so then we can get straight into this, all right? So that's Usman. That's Usman who got a young person to marry each other. That's Usman there. Okay, cool. Now let's get this article up here so we can read more about Usman and his intention in making young people marry each other. Because I'm sure there must be some form of intention there. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I forgot the law. I'm sure there's more to it, and I think we need to talk about it. So, give me a second, folks. Let me get this. Hold on. Just wait there. I'm trying to fix something here. All right, there you go. All right. All right, perfect. 2 seconds, folks. I'm fixing something. Always fixing something. All right, cool. Okay, I fixed it. All right. Now let's can you guys see this? Yeah, that's what I was trying to fix. Okay, cool. It's fixed now. Can you guys hear me properly? You guys can hear me properly, okay? You can hear me properly. All right, that's good. Okay, cool. So we got the Imam here. His pictures here. I'm sure you can see it right now on the screen. And then, of course, we got an article here. We're going to read it to you guys. And I'm going to tell you the reason how these two young people got to, you know, he got these two young people married to each other. And the reason why he did so. So this is Daily Mail piece. An imam who admitted to forced marriage of two underage children has avoided jail and instead has been given suspended prison sentence. Ashraf Usmani, 52 years old, said he was unaware of the change of the law when he conducted a niqab ceremony. So he used the wrong book. So he used Sharia law, and now he's telling us he was unaware. Of course, you didn't know. You was reading the wrong book, my friend. If you read the British law, you will know, like, okay, cool. Of course, you know, this is the wrong book. You know, I'm reading the wrong book. Then, of course, you will know, like, all right, cool, perfect. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know how you mess this up unless that's what you do normally. You just use the Sharia law. And so he performed this niqab ceremony of two 16-year-olds at Northampton Central Mosque. A court heard he believed he was helping the youngsters who were touring around mosques seeking to marry each other to have sexual relation without committing a sin of fornication. Fornication is when you obviously fornication is when you have sex with somebody without being married to them. So these two 16-year-olds were trying to basically come together and have sexual relationship, but they did not want to commit a sin, and they were basically following their faith. Okay, so they went to this guy. By the way, they went to a different mosque. Multiple mosques rejected them, saying, "Hey, you're too young. I can't do it. Bro, you're too young. I can't do it." So they were touring. So that hence the reason, the word of touring. They were touring mosques, seeking to marry. So they were going to every mosque, and a lot of mosques were saying no, 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 no. But of course, they got to this guy. This guy was ready. This guy was active. You know, I think his name is Ashraf Usmani. He was active. He was ready to go, and he was ready to perform. But he wasn't jailed for getting two young people to be married, but he was sentenced to 15 weeks in custody, suspended for a year. Mr. Justice Akhlaq Chaudhry. Oh, Akhlaq Chaudhry. Chaudhry, huh? Remember that last name? Chaudhry. Okay. Described his approach as negligent. And he said, I quote, "People look at you for guidance and put their trust in you," he said. "You are entirely in charge of the marriage process at the mosque, and ignorant of the law is not a defense. You ought to have known that the law had changed." Yeah, maybe he did know, but he was using a wrong book. Of course he wouldn't know. He told Usmani, who stood in the dark clutching a red kafir, he said, "I am sorry it has come to this, Mr. Usmani. It was a mistake on your part, but a serious one." This is what the judge said to him. "You must stay out of trouble for the next year. I am sure you will. Otherwise, you will have to serve the 15 weeks imprisonment." Folks, imagine if all judges spoke to everyone like this. Imagine if all judges in the UK spoke to everyone like this. Like, "I'm sorry, David. It was a mistake on your behalf in making that outrageous tweet. I know you had a lot to drink that night. You were angry that 3 beautiful kids were killed. So it was a mistake on your behalf." And okay, let's read this. Where? But so he said, "I'm sorry it has come to this, John." Or maybe let's use the famous case of Lucy Connolly. Let's say the judge said this to Lucy Connolly. Let's say the judge actually said this to Lucy Connolly. "I'm sorry, Lucy Connolly. It has come to this. It was a mistake on your behalf, but a serious one. You must stay out of trouble for the next year. I'm sure you will. Otherwise, you'll have to serve the 3 years imprisonment." And then Lucy Connolly will be like, thank you, and walk away. But no! Apparently, Lucy Connolly's tweet was so violent, was so horrific. The action was just, they had to punish her. They had to put her in a cell. But this guy who got 2 young people to marry each other, to go out there and do whatever they wanted to do, somehow his acts, his behavior deserve only 15 weeks imprisonment and 1 year suspended sentence. So he walked, he went back home, he went back to work, I guess. So there he is. I think this part is important. This is where it gets dangerous, folks. This is where it gets scary, and I think it is important I read this out to you guys. Okay, so now the earlier prosecutor Jennifer Newcomen told the sentencing hearing at Northampton Crown Court that the marriage had come to light when the bride's foster parents found a marriage certificate in her room. So it's not like this guy went out there to tell. The way we got to find about this is the foster parents of the little girl found the marriage certificate in the room, and I'm sure they were probably in shock and people thinking, hey, what? Really? Married? How long? What is this? Is this a prank? And then figure out that it's true. So they raised the concern with the girl's social worker, but when she was spoke to by the police, she insisted that no ceremony had taken place. 6 months later, when she was re-interviewed, she said that she had approached one mosque only to be turned down due to her age before asking Usmani. So she went to one mosque and they said, no, we can't do it. You're too young. And then, of course, she went to Usmani. Usmani was ready. Usmani was active. He wanted to do it. Yeah, and he did it. So she approached Usmani, who agreed to marry them the following day. So Usmani was quick. He was ready to make money and he wanted to marry them. By the way, it's not free to get these guys married. They paid him money. So he went out there and, it's like, yeah, I'm ready to make money. Come here tomorrow. Come here tomorrow in your best dress and we're going to get you married. All right. And basically that's what they did. The girl told the police that Usmani had asked to see their passport and they filled in a application form. So he looked at their passport. He looked at it and he said, yeah, obviously too young, but guess what? Yeah, we're still going to do it. Fill in this form. We're still going to do it. We're still going to get it done. All right, fill this form. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, hold each other's hand. I'm sure, I don't know, however way they do it. Although they brought friends, so the young girls, the young people, the 16-year-old kids, they brought their friends, obviously to see them getting married, right? Because, I mean, it's illegal for them to do it. So, but this one place was ready to perform it. So they brought their friends. Although they brought their friend with them, 2 members of the mosque act as a witness. So it's not just him who committed a crime, but also his staff who were working there. 2 members of the mosque who were there acted as witnesses. After the ceremony, they celebrated with a meal and photos at the restaurant, which they had put on social media. Folks, this is crazy. All right, let's carry on. The youngsters who cannot be named by the order of the courts, I mean, it makes sense, told the police that she had not been coerced, and both of them, she and her husband, had wanted to do it. The boy told the officers that he knew his girlfriend wanted to marry and he wanted to make her happy. I mean, okay. Now here's where the crazy part really is. In a voluntary interview with the police, Usmani, who had been an imam since 1996, man, that's a big job. Man, he's a top G in his career. Since 1996, he said the couple had paid him I almost said 500, sorry. £50 fee to the mosque for the ceremony. God. So these 2 young people here, they don't work. They just want to sleep with each other, all right? They just want to sleep with each other. And they went to this guy. They went to a lot of mosques and the mosque said, you're too young. You shouldn't do it. You're too young. You shouldn't do it. You're too young. You shouldn't do it. But Usmani said, okay, you guys want to sleep with each other? All right, perfect. Come here tomorrow, bring your friend, best, dress the best. Come here, I'll get it done. And bring £50, all right? All right. And they went home, they came back the next day, and they got married, and okay, whatever happened after that. And then we got to find out months after, when the foster parents were going through their clothes, maybe going through their room and figured out like, hey, wait, what? You're married. How? And then, of course, the story came to light. But Usmani got 15 years imprisonment and he's going to spend none of it. He's going to spend none of it. Nothing. He's not going to go to jail. He's not going to do nothing. It's just going to, yeah, I guess he's just going to, he's back to work, okay? He's back to work. But here's the crazy part, right? Here's the crazy part. This is the I think this comment should strike you. Look at this. I mean, I highlighted the thing that I wanted you to read because it's more important. And but here's a part where he basically says, so he said he was helping them to have marital relationship that would be okay in the eyes of God, so they do not commit sin or fornicate and commit sin. Okay, That's why he did it. So he didn't do it because they were old enough to, because marriage is a deep stuff. It's important to know what you're doing, because you're not just, because people think marriage is just like a thing where you're like, oh yeah, let's do it. It's like a culture stuff. It's like a trend. Like, oh yeah, cool. We can post picture online and we can do this and we can do this. No, marriage is like one of the biggest promise that you can make to a human being. That, hey bro, I'm going to be with you until I die. That is a big promise. That is bigger than a business contract. That is bigger than anything. Hey bro, I'm going to be with you until I die. My life is yours. Your life is mine. Sign here, I sign here. I promise I'll never go behind your back and do something. I promise I'm going to be here, and we're going to raise children together, and we're going to take care of them, and we're going to contribute the best people we're going to bring up the best individual to contribute to this world, and we're going to do it, me and you together, you and I. If they see me, they see you. If they see you, they see me. You know what I mean? All this, it's a promise. So this guy has seen that, and he said, all right, it doesn't matter anyway. These guys just want to sleep with each other, and I can make a quick £50. And I was like, yeah, let's get these guys married. Of course, that's illegal, right? And he only got 15 years in prison. That's a problem. That's a huge problem, and we need to talk about it. But there's one more thing I want to read out to you, because this one struck me. Because he checked their passports and he knew these kids were young. But, God. Okay. Should I just read the whole thing? I forgot what that line was. What the reason why he didn't ask their parents. Because before their 16, 17-year-old were able to marry, you needed parental consent, right? You needed parents to be there and consented, a letter, all these things. But the reason why he didn't ask for parental consent, bro, I think this is important. This is huge. I just want to read the whole thing so I can just get to it. But it's one line. Or F. Okay. That's 1, 2. All right. 2 seconds, folks. I want to... What? Did it go? All right. Okay. It seems like we're going to have to read the whole thing, okay? There's one line I wanted to read it to you when he dismissed the reason why he wanted to ask, the reason why he didn't ask for parental consent. He looked at their passport. He knew that they were young, but he didn't care about asking their parents, because apparently in Islam, when somebody has a foster parent, they are no real parents. So you shouldn't even ask them what they think. That's why the kid got married, because she was living with her foster parents, and basically a foster parents is a fake parents to them in the Islamic belief. So basically he performed the whole thing using the book, the Sharia law book. That's why he didn't consent with any of their parents, which is kind of shocking, to be fair, which is dangerous. Okay. All right. Now, here's the reason why the officers, the reason why judges gave him 15 months in prison, for 15 months sentences, and of course, he got a suspended prison sentence for a year, so he could walk free, he could go back home. So the judge said that in this case, had been assessed at the lowest level, so this, very lowest level, but he sentenced Usmani as a deterrent to others. So he sentenced him as a deterrent to others. Can we see how important and how harmful this case really is? It's very harmful, right? I think it is. It's very harmful. It's a really bad situation to marry 2 kids. So he wanted to do a deterrent to stop others from doing the same thing. And he said, all right, this thing is very harmful. I'm going to have to sentence you so I can teach your friends not to do it as well. But here's the punishment. You're going to get 15 weeks in prison. Yeah, that's a big deterrent. Nobody else would do it. And guess what? You're going to go home tonight. You're going to stay home. You're going to get suspended sentence, and you don't have to do any of it. You don't have to spend a single day in jail. But hey, it's a deterrent. How big of a deterrent this is. It's like, I don't know what this judge was thinking, folks. I don't even know. I'm not even sure. But hey, what a good deterrent this was, right? All right, folks. Now, here's a video I want you to watch. It's a video of him walking out the court, well, going into the court and coming out by Sky News. Check it out.
Ashraf Osmani has admitted he didn't know the law had changed when he performed an Islamic marriage service known as a nikah for two 16-year-olds in his role as the Imam at Northampton's Central Mosque in November 2023. But ignorance of the law is not a valid defence, and today a judge gave him a suspended prison sentence. He'd been approached by the teenage girl to carry out the service after another mosque had said no.
Prosecuting this case, Jennifer Newcombe said it was incumbent on him to know and follow the law relating to marriage in the UK. But she added that both teenagers had told police that there was no pressure or coercion involved.
At a previous hearing, Osmani, who's 52, had pleaded guilty to 2 counts of causing a child to enter into marriage. The case only came to light when the teenage girl's foster parents found the marriage certificate in her room. The legal age rose to 18 in February 2023, when the Marriage and Civil Partnership Act came into force.
Firstly, because of concerns about forced marriages for 16 and 17-year-olds. Secondly, to align the age with other minimum ages, such as voting and buying alcohol. And another main reason was in relation to alignment with international law.
Passing sentence, the Honourable Mr Justice Chowdhury KC said, "You ought to have known that the law had changed. Your approach can only be described as negligent."
Ashraf Osmani didn't want to speak to us as he left court, but for his ignorance of the law, he's been handed a 15-week prison term, suspended for a year. Stuart Leiths, ITV News, Northampton.
All right, folks, there he is. So he has basically walked away. He has basically got away with it. Osmani has walked away. I'm sure he's going to go back to work, and he's going to carry on working. And it's normal. It's normal for him. As you know, it's a big deterrent, I guess. It's a big deterrent. But hey, let's not all freak out, right? At least there's a deterrent out there for others, all right? At least there's a deterrent, all right? Okay. Let's not freak out, folks. There's a deterrent out there for others. And yeah, we should just hope we should hope everybody's scared now, all right? We should hope people like Osmani are terrified of this new deterrent that we've put in place to stop individuals like himself in making young kids take a big decision in marrying each other. I mean, what? It's crazy, folks. But I want to know if this deterrent exists to others as well, particularly people who are out there online raising the concern about the changing in the country. Does that deterrent exist? Is there something like, all right, you know, if you do this, we're gonna give you a warning? There's a deterrent out there, 15 weeks, not 3 years, not 4 years. No, just 15 weeks and suspended sentence. You'll be back to work. You'll carry on your stuff. But at least there's a deterrent, right? Yeah, well, I mean, it's crazy, folks. It's crazy. But we're going to move into something else. We're going to move into another story. Apparently, there's a sound coming through. Can you guys... Is there a bad sound? Can you hear a sound coming through? Is it bad? Is the sound clear? Let me know, because I'm using this headphone today. And I'm using this headphone today. I don't like the professional headphones, the ones who, you know, these lot of, you know, the see-through, the clear ones, the ones that hide behind your ears. I don't like them. They mess me up all the time. So but I also don't like these ones. They squeeze my head every time, especially when I'm doing 2-hour broadcasts. by the time I finish, my head is like, I feel like I've been squeezed. Maybe that's why my head is very small. All right, very small. See, small head, very small head. All right, cool. You guys can hear me. The audio is fine because I just seen a text saying that the audio has a little bit of echoing, and so okay, cool. I'm glad it's okay for you guys. All right, let's move into another story, folks. Let's move into another story. There's a lot of stories to cover here today. There is a lot of freaking stories to cover. Now, let's move into this story. Which one should we do first? Which one should we do next? Sorry. Should we do ISIS bride Shamima Begum? Could possibly be back in Britain. Possibly be back in Britain. Or should we do Islamist debate? Explode in rage. Islamist explodes in rage when it comes to cousin marriage band. Yeah, I want to know why. Starmer tops small boats crossing record in half than Boris Johnson's time. Crazy. That's a crazy figure right there. I think let's do Shamima Begum. Let's finish with the boats later on. So let's do Shamima Begum, then let's do number 3, then let's do number 4, okay? Let's do Shamima Begum. Okay, cool. Here's Shamima Begum. I don't know if you guys have seen her. Don't know if you guys are aware of her. We've had a guy on the show who was basically a guy who was speaking for her, meaning he used to go out there, interview her, and if she had a message, she could send it over to the UK through this guy. But we're gonna get this guy on the show again, and he can tell us more about Shamima Begum, about this situation, because of course he has spoken to her multiple times, and he stopped speaking to her apparently because she started acting like she started showing a lot of behaviors which suggest that she was using the British public. And then of course he stopped going to Syria, to the camp, to speak and broadcast her message. And yeah, but this is Shamima Begum. When she was 15 years old, she was groomed, apparently groomed. She was groomed into making a deadly decision, a crazy decision, into going and joining ISIS, into becoming a bride for ISIS, into becoming a mother of an ISIS terrorist who their sole mission was to sow division and chaos in the homeland here. And she joined that. She thought that would be important for her. She thought it was a calling from God. So she joined, and now today, this is the situation she's in. And the ECHR are fighting, and possibly she might be back in Britain, the story reads. So, ISIS bride Shamima Begum could be free from Syria detention camp in days as Kurdish-led fighters hold her and thousands of terrorists lose ground to government forces. Okay, all right. This situation is very delicate, very, very sensitive situation. A lot of people have different opinions. Sadiq Khan has weighted in, and it's important I play Sadiq Khan's video as well. Many other people have weighted in as well, including K. Starmer. I mean, this is first of all, let's play Sadiq Khan. Let's play Sadiq Khan first. Then we're gonna get the people on the right, Nigel Farage, and then we're gonna get a message from, of course, Shamima Begum herself. But here is Sadiq Khan.
This morning that Shamima Begum has lost this latest stage really in her court case.
Well, I suspect there'll be appeals. That was always going to happen. This will probably go to the top courts in the country. The key thing for me is if any British person is accused of committing serious offences, they should face the music. They should face a trial. I want them to be charged, prosecuted. If a jury finds them guilty, given a decent sentence in prison. It's really important that we don't subcontract the issue of justice. I'm not aware, only the courts are, what the national security grounds are, but it's really important that justice occurs, and justice is seen to occur as well.
Do you think justice is happening in this case?
Well, let's wait and see. I mean, I suspect, whoever was going to lose this case was going to appeal. I think it's really difficult for most, fair-minded Londoners to understand how, just by the quirk of the fact that your ethnic origin means you've got the possibility of applying for a passport in another country, you can have your nationality removed. It seems harsh. It seems those who maybe of Anglo-Saxon stock have a different level and criteria than those of us who are from an ethnic minority or whose family come from a different part of the world.
Well, that's Sadiq Khan. He doesn't miss an opportunity for him to push some sort of agenda. He doesn't miss, right? So he says that he thinks that there is a double lining, that the people, the Anglo-Saxons, the English people, have their passport and they cannot be revoked. But when a colored person or somebody from an ethnic minority does something wrong, their passport can be revoked and their citizenship can be, stripped of them. But then maybe he's forgetting the situation here. This girl is a jihadi girl who made a decision, who booked a plane, who jumped on a flight to go and support the jihad. Just like many other young men who did the same thing too. A lot of young Muslim men booked the flight to go to Syria to fight our British forces. A lot of young men booked the flight to go to Iraq to fight our young forces. Afghanistan, anywhere. A lot of British Pakistanis went to Pakistan, learned how to fight, and went to Syria to fight the Americans and the British troops. That's how crazy it is. So now they've lost the battle, meaning Shamima Begum has lost the battle. The jihad didn't go as well as was planned. And now she wants to look at us and be like, hey, please. Hey, please. Please. But then you have to know. These guys will put the first thing they put after the first thing for them, it's not life. It's not anything. It is their religion. It is their faith. All right. So who goes to say that? What if Shamima Begum goes out there? Let's say Shamima Begum comes out here. Then she gets another opportunity to put the faith first, which is jihad. Who says she won't go and do it? The courage that you have to book a flight to go to a random place because of your religion at that young age. Imagine at the age that she is right now. Let's say another signal comes in, and this time is not to go to Syria, it's not to go to Iraq, it's not to go to random places, it's not to go to Libya, it's not to go to Nigeria with Fulani militants or Boko Haram in Nigeria. No, it's to stay in Britain and cause public nuisance. We have a lot of that. I mean, Manchester attack is just a reminder of you. That's the recent one. Actually, recent one we can say is Axel Rubicabano. That was a recent one because he had all these manual, Al-Qaeda manual and stuff. This terrorist manual. You can tell he was already radicalized. He was out there having all these things, making stuff, ordering weapons and all these crazy stuff. And then, of course, he killed 3 beautiful kids. Is that something that we want to see here? Not saying that Shamima Begum will come to the country and go out there and kill people. I'm not saying that. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm saying, hey, we already have so many in the country who have done and who are on MI5 watch list because they might do such a thing. Are we going to bring it back so then we can put on an MI5 watch list and hope that our MI5 is good enough to detect anything that she might do? And just hope that MI5 is strong enough to stop something? I mean, yes, they are. But a lot of times, they don't stop shit. So this is a topic here. I don't know what you guys think. What do you guys think in the comments? Do you think Shamima Begum should be, we should let her come back to the United Kingdom? Let's put a poll over there. Let's get a poll. The moderator, let's get a poll there. Let's put a poll. Do you think Shamima Begum should be allowed to come back in the UK? Let's load another video from Nigel Farage. This is what Nigel Farage thinks, folks. Nigel Farage. sometimes he says stuff and I agree with, then sometimes he pulls some random stuff and you're like, bro, where is this coming from, bro? What are you doing, Nigel? But this is what Nigel Farage thinks. It's important to listen to him as he's being prepared to basically be the next leader of the United Kingdom. So I think it's important for us to give us some airtime. And it's important to also listen to him because soon it could be called your prime minister. Now, this is Nigel Farage. Let's get this video up here.
Do you think it's something the UK should consider, bringing back Shamima Begum?
I've never wanted to. I've instinctively never wanted to. And I'm now thoughtful. I'm thoughtful. I mean, I don't classify her as an all-out ISIS killer. So she's sort of she is a lesser part of the equation.
But do you think the UK government should listen to this? Do you think they should be considering bringing back some of these ISIS supporters back to the UK?
I think what Gawker has done is started a debate. Not one that I wanted to have, and not one the British government wanted to have, but now we're going to have to.
And he's got a point.
Regrettably, yes.
If you are a British citizen and you are concerned that there are people in Syrian prisons that are security threats to the United Kingdom, where would you rather they were sitting? Inside a prison in a now potentially jihadist-controlled Syria, or inside a maximum security prison inside the United Kingdom?
Yeah. That's Nigel Farage, and that's what they're pushing. That's what they're pushing, folks. So Nigel likes the debate. He's open to have the debate, but he's not open to lead the debate. But he's open for it. And of course, Zia Yusuf is okay. He's better thinking. It's better to have her in prison than outside. But then nobody's calculating the risk. I mean, of course, yeah, I understand the argument of saying, all right, she was groomed, she was young, and she was sent out there. She was young, all these stuff, and she was groomed. Okay, maybe we can investigate that. Maybe we can fight with that. Maybe we can look at that and make our decision and be like, okay, maybe she was actually, she was actually groomed and she was forced to go and perform these stuff that she did. She was young. Okay, cool. I don't know. Just willy-nilly, just do it, like bringing it back. I don't know, because that sets a dangerous precedent. It's not just about getting her back. It's not just about like, hey, Shamima Begum is back. It's not just that. It's about the many others who will apply to come back. Are you ready for that debate too? Because if you get one back, what if all the guys, not just the girls with, not just somebody, not just a female, like, oh yeah, it's a girl, maybe she might be not, she might not pose a lot of danger. Now, what if all the guys as well are saying, hey, human right, I'm coming back home. Hey, hey, this. Hey, oh, I'm coming back. Then we figure out there's people in Nigeria with Boko Haram that we didn't get to know. We figure out there's people in Libya who are selling people and doing crazy stuff in the terrorist thing that they're doing. Or maybe we figure out there's some people in Afghanistan, Syria, I already said Libya. All these other countries. Pakistan. And they're like, hey, I am coming back home too. Are we ready to have those debates too? Because, hey, we can't just say, we can't just say this debate is just only for Shamima Begum. No, because if we do have that debate and she wins and she comes back to the country, then it sets a dangerous precedent where now we are forced to always have these debates about all these individuals who went out there and now are trying to come back. Now, the recent debate was about this guy, what's his name? The Egyptian guy, Al-Hafata, who made some crazy tweets, man. Crazy tweets. I mean, if any of us was to make those tweets, we'll be in jail right now. He came back to the country, then we figured out, hey, this is the guy who we brought back into the country. Look at what he said. I mean, he's everything that we would hate to bring back into the country. But somehow we brought him back. And then, of course, that debate was ignited about, citizenship. Now, of course, that sets a dangerous precedent because that debate now has included somebody like Shamima Begum. Okay? So he's back, all right? And many other people are looking at that situation and saying maybe she's not as bad. Maybe she didn't tweet. And she's out there. She has nothing. And all this human rights stuff. That debate is being having, it's being had right now. And maybe she might be able to come back. Then boom, there's gonna be hundreds of people here who are also want us to entertain their human rights debate. Folks, this sets a dangerous precedent. And I don't know. What do you guys think, folks? What do you guys think? Should we get Shamima Begum back in the country? It's something that we need to talk about. It's something that we can't just ignore. We have to look at it and see it for what it is and talk about it. Let me see. I think there's one more video I would like to get you guys to watch. Shamima Begum. Yeah, I think that's it. The least. Yeah, I think that's all stories today. I think that's all story when it comes to Shamima Begum. I think that's all the stories. But maybe she could be back. Maybe she couldn't. Maybe she might not come back. But we'll see. We'll see what the debate says. But what do you guys think? If you guys think, let me know what you guys think. All right, should we let Shamima Begum come back to the country? Let me know. Write it down so I can. I'm reading through your chat, so write it down. Somebody says she chose ISIS. Let her have it. Yeah, she chose ISIS. Nobody forced her. We didn't pitch her the idea to go to ISIS. She chose to go. She chose to pack. She chose to pack and go. None of us said, hey, you can go there and we're going to have your back. No, she chose to stab us in the back and packed her bag and run away. And she chose to stay there when things were good. When her husband was pulling up with guns, maybe she was touching the guns, maybe she was having fun with it. She liked bad boys. She's seen her husband going out there attacking people, and she was like, I'm in love. And she chose to stay. And then she gave birth. She gave birth, multiple kids. And then the husband is like, man, I don't have shit. I'm just doing jihad. I don't own the business. I'm not a commander. I'm just a guy who can get shot anytime, any day. And maybe she figured out, oh shit. Oh no. This is not what I chose to do. No. You chose. It's not like the British government paid for your passport. It's not like we paid for your visa. You chose to pack and go. And now things are tough. You want to look and say, hey, human rights. Well, again, let's have the debate. Let's have the debate. Anyone who wants to have it, let's have the debate. Let's see how it goes. But all we have to know is that this sets a dangerous precedent because we have so many people who we have on MI5 watch list in the house, domestically and abroad. We have so many people who we are watching our MI5, our MI6, our intelligent. We are watching them every day, so they don't fuck us over. We already have so many here, and if we let her back, that's one more added. And then there's many who might come out of nowhere and say, hey, you invoked my citizenship. It didn't go viral, but now I'm here. Let's have the debate. That's dangerous. That is dangerous, folks. That is dangerous. All right, let's move into the next story. We're going to talk more about this as obviously as the debate is being had. We're going to talk more about this when new informations are coming out. Because Syria right now is on the bloodshed. I mean, this is the problem that I have with the Western leaders. We always make the same mistake. Now, I don't call it a mistake. We always pick the wrong people. No. We pick the wrong people for faraway countries. Look at in Syria. Look at in Iran right now. Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini. We the one that put him there. We toppled the Shah. Don't care what you say about the Shah, if he's good or bad, but we toppled him. And we put Ayatollah Khomeini, which made it even worse what Iran was. 100% worse. Times. Not about the secret police. No, he went worse. He built not just a secret police, he built the Revolutionary Guard, which is not just secret, is out there ready to suppress and kill and imprison and torture anyone who tried to show some defiance towards the Islamic Republic. Okay, maybe you might make some argument saying, hey, you know, the Shah also had secret police that tortured and killed some people. Yes, that's a conversation we can have, but that was killing maybe 100 people. But when this Islamic Republic came through, thousands of people were dying. It went like from hundreds of people dying because of secret police that the Shah had to thousands of people dying. Not secretly, masked, public execution. And guess what? We, the West, went there and did that. France, Air France, we're the one. The Air France, we chartered a plane for him. We took him from France. We flew him to Iran. Presidential entry. Millions of people flocking the street to greet this new guy, Ruhollah Khomeini, in 1979, February 1st. I believe it was early February. And then, boom, he takes power. And then skip all that time. Okay, maybe Saddam Hussein, we also did the same thing, all right? We helped him gain power because the other guy who was there before Saddam Hussein was not good enough to the West. Then boom, after years later, weapons of mass destruction. Bro, we're the one that created it. We're the one that gave him the weapons to fight the Kurdish and the Iran-Iraq war. We're the one that gave him the weapon. Now, I mean, 1984, the war happened. Early 1980s, the war happened with Iran and Iraq. Then boom, now 9/11, we go in and say, hey, he has weapons of mass destruction. And then we find none. Okay, cool. Syria with Assad. Assad was there for years. And the crazy thing is, Assad learned his English and everything he learned from us. He went to university in London, Assad. And then he went back. And he took, he became the heirs from his father. And Assad was oppressing his people, doing the crazy stuff. We didn't like him because, he was bouncing back and back with China, Russia, and all these things. We don't like that. We hate that. So we needed to take him out. And we tried multiple times. We failed. And then finally, 2024, December, boom, an uprising in Syria. And then, yeah, Assad is out. And guess who we put in? Not some nice guy who maybe is smart, went to school, he loves his country, he's a patriot, he's going to rule the country with all sort of respect. No, we don't want that. We want a terrorist. So we found Abu Muhammad al-Julani. We bring him in. And he changed his name to al-Fashar. His name is Abu Muhammad al-Julani, who had over 10 million pounds on his head because we wanted to kill him. Because he was a terrorist. We wanted to capture him. We put 10 million pound bounty head on him. But no, actually, we want him to be the president now. And guess what? Syria is in a mess today, still. This is what we do. We're the West. We do that. We don't look at the people. Look, we can say the same thing to, Libya. Okay, say what you want about Saddam, Mohammed Gaddafi. Mohammed Gaddafi was oppressing, killing women and all this crazy stuff. Okay, what happened to Libya after we toppled him? Well, Libya now, you can sell slaves. If you have a couple £100, you can literally go and buy people. That's how poor and dirt Libya really is. Same thing in Sudan. Same thing in Congo. All these places. We don't like to see anyone who is going to go there and rule the country and do better stuff. No, we want to put a wrong guy so we can get our stuff. That's it. So that's a quick little frustration that I have when it comes to foreign affairs. And then now Syria has erupted again. You have so many fascists in Syria who want to rule, who wants to take power. And guess what? This girl Shamima Begum has become another topic for today because it's basically reigniting again. It looks like it might be another another Arab Spring 2.0 just in Syria. Actually, it could be, Iran is also catching fire right now. So it could be another Arab Spring. So now we're having a debate whether we should bring it back or not. It's dangerous, folks. We'll see what we're going to do. But this is a conversation that people will have, and we'll comment and report to you guys how, you know, how it goes. But okay, let's move into the next story, folks. So here's the next story. We can talk Islamists, or this one's gonna be the shortest video. Okay, shortest story. Okay. This is the debate that was being had. So there's a debate going on, a big debate about if you and I should be allowed to go out there and marry our cousins. Yeah, imagine the person who you played around when you were 5, 4 years old. I mean, I played around with my cousins all the time. We did hide and seek. We chased each other. We fought. And we did all the crazy stuff because we were kids. And then we grow up. We grow apart. I'm going out there. I'm playing football. Fuck what they're doing. I'm doing my thing. Maybe we see them to church. Maybe we see, you know, their moms come home. The auntie comes home. Whatever. And then we grow to an age of where we want to build something for ourselves and become parents and get married and stuff. We want to turn around and say, actually, Dad, Mom, I want to marry my cousin. I mean, that's the debate that the Great Britain is having today. We're not having a debate whether we should go and take Chagos Island back. We're not having a debate whether we should go and take some military bases and, you know, put our military bases somewhere. Maybe go out there and put a flag inside the ocean underneath and be the first one to do it. Well, Russia has done it, but we can go and be the second one and claim territory in some Amazonic land. We're not having that debate. In US, they're having the debate whether they should take Greenland. They're having a debate whether they should keep Venezuela. They're having a debate whether they should take Cuba. That's the conversation that they're having. But in United Kingdom, we're having a debate whether we should have 2 guys, 2 people, 2 cousins, 2 uncle and niece. Maybe sister and brother. Oh, no, we should. Now, I hope we don't get that far. I really hope. That's the conversation we're having, whether these 2 individuals could come together and make a covenant with each other and also have marital relation and sexual relation with each other. That's the debate we're having today. It's insane. It's crazy. Listen to this.
Should the marriage of first cousins be banned, Mike?
Well, I think it should personally. I mean, the figures are that the possibility of a genetic problem with your child is between 2 and 3% in what I'd call the population as a whole. Yeah. But it goes up to 4 to 6% if you have a first cousin marriage.
So it doubles?
Doubles, in fact, yeah. Now, my view is people say, well, that's still a small figure. No, if it's only a 1% chance of an increased possibility of some genetic problem, basically because when you go up the family pyramid like that, it means they've both got the same grandparents, then it shouldn't be allowed because it's a risk that doesn't need to be taken.
Ahina?
You know, if we're talking about risks, right, and we want to ban something, then we should really be consistent. And we're talking about children's health. Now, there are more statistics to show that, you know, mothers that are drinking alcohol and they have FASD, which is a neurodiversity condition.
I know what it is.
As well as, just for the public, and also for
that's
people...
That's a different problem altogether.
But it's the same thing.
No, but we're talking about a specific problem that could be sorted and changed. We're not going to say,
that is exactly the same thing by your logic.
No, it's not, because you're going on to another problem and we're discussing marriage between cousins.
I'm talking about children's health.
What you're doing, Taima, you're using a bit of whataboutery,
Not
aren't you?
really, I'm saying that you guys are not consistent when it comes to certain things, and even the Church of England has not banned first cousin marriages, okay? So in this country, we do not have a Christian state. We do not have anything when it comes to Christian laws, where it's actually even in our parliament. And when it comes to certain communities, I feel that they are targeted, even though they are not the priority on the NHS. The priority are people that are maybe at elderly age, and we need more awareness and education for people
not really answered
to
the question,
understand
have you,
that.
Fahima?
No, you haven't.
Well, if you're going to have a ban, have it collectively for all of the kind of issues. That's why I raised that.
But we are focusing on this one issue.
But why would you want to focus on one when there's
because
children's
it's very
health?
important, because it means that people who are involved in that relationship have a greater chance of something happening to them. So it's no good saying, oh, well, it happens there, it happens there. Look at this one. And by the way, citing the Church of England as, you know, even the Church of England, I'm telling you, the Church of England get an awful lot of things wrong. I wouldn't use them as a marker for things that are right under any circumstances, even though I'm a Christian.
But the thing is, you still not understanding your logic. If you are worrying about public health for children, then it should be on all kind of, things, not just cousin marriage.
But we're looking at this.
This debate.
But why is it always picking on because you know it relates to a specific community?
Who? Which community?
The Pakistani community. I'm not from that community. I would never in my family even, endorse this kind of cousin marriage. But I want things to be fair and consistent. And if you want to ban it, like I said, have a ban throughout
Should it be banned,
the spectrum.
Fahima?
I don't think it should be banned, because I feel that if you are given education and it's a public health issue, and if there were genetic testing beforehand, because not all cousin marriages actually end up in that way. It depends on your DNA. It depends on how closely related you are.
But why take the risk?
So, of course. Well, why take the risk when you're even pregnant and drinking or smoking, or even at an elderly age? It's the same thing. It's awareness. It's education.
It's not the same thing, because this is avoidable. This is completely avoidable. If you do not marry your cousin, then you are not putting yourselves in a position where something could happen to your child at a greater risk than other circumstances.
Not all people that marry their cousins have that. We've had, even the monarchy that's had that. There's nothing that's been wrong. It's just, something I think that needs to have education and more of a public health interest than banning.
Oh, God. Sorry, folks, I had to put you guys through this misery. I'm sorry. But it's crazy, man. This is the debate that we're having. Look at all the resources. Look at the media outlet. They have to do all... It costs a lot of money to run a media program. We've tried it. We had to stop after 5 days because it cost a lot of money to keep the thing going. So we do like just regular shows. So the media's out there getting people doing this and doing this just so we can have this one debate about people marrying their cousins. And then they try and make this argument saying, hey, Henry III, married their cousin. All right. Then look at what he wanted to protect. He was a king. He was a freaking king who wanted to protect his inheritance. He wanted to protect everything. He wanted to keep it within the family line. It makes sense. But then that's years ago. This far away years ago, where science wasn't really as important as it is today. Where science were out there discovering that, hey, if you actually do this and do this, you're gonna produce this. Now we know the risk. Now we know all the negative that comes out of it. But the NHS is out there making an argument, telling you that there's so many benefits. The NHS released an article yesterday saying that there's so many benefits, including it makes it easier for the extended family to foster, to make, extended. What do you mean extended family? They're cousins, for God's sake. They've been knowing each other since the kids were born. It could be dad and his brother. I say they're family. God, for God's sake, what's going on? That's the NHS. The NHS making that argument that it's important. It makes it easier for families. Okay. And they're also making an argument that it keeps all their resources and assets within the family. Okay, then let's make an argument. Let's look at all the assets that he keeps within the family. A house? A car? Really? That's the best trade-off? Are you telling me that you are fine having a chance of giving birth to a disabled kid with sickle cells and all the crazy thing that comes with it, just for you to keep your car in the family? Are you saying that you would, I mean, that is just selfish, folks. It's either so selfish or there's not enough girls in the world. That's it. We did a research yesterday. We figured out there's actually 4 billion girls in this world. But somehow we want to have this argument where 2 people should marry their cousins. 2, basically, what the benefits is to keep their assets within the family. And then we look at the assets, there's like barely anything. And then we look at the downside, is producing kids who will cost more in the NHS. And I'm not saying, oh, you know, having disabled kids is bad. Of course not. Of course it's not bad. It's what God gives you. And you accept it. You take it in. And you take care of them. You do everything possible to make sure they have a greater life in whatever situation they're in. If they can't speak, you do whatever thing possible to make sure whatever they can do, they are good at it. But if you know that, hey, you doing this, you're increasing the chance that your kid will come with this and this and this, and then you want to make an argument why there's some sort of benefits around it? No, that's selfish. That is freaking selfish. I don't know why we're having this debate. But hey, I want to show you this video. This video kind of rage baited me, bro. I really got rage bait in this video. This guy, like, his comments really made me angry. Like, what the heck? How are these, like, how do we have these people like this in the country who are able to speak like this and make arguments like this and try to justify this? All right, folks, look at this.
Your parents' cousin, yes. In Islam, you're allowed to marry your brothers and sisters. You're allowed to marry your cousin brothers and your cousin sisters. That's because the Prophet allowed us to do that. If it wasn't allowed, the Prophet, he was the most intelligent person in this that's ever lived. It's like why are they not banning gay people for? What is the reason of banning cousin marriages?
Because it leads to the elevated likelihood of double doses of harmful mutant genes.
So there's it's harmful genes. Even being like, even have these sexual intercourse between men and men. You get STDs, you get gonorrhea, you get all them. You get them all them diseases as well. Why didn't I ban that first? At the end of the day, it's not Adam and Steve. It's Adam and Eve.
Yeah, that's where we are today. These are the arguments that we're having in the country. Marrying your cousin. Sleeping with your cousin. And people are actually putting their heart into this. They are going above and beyond in showing us that, hey, this thing is good. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not good. It's not good. All right, folks. Let's move into the last story here. Okay, cool. We can talk about Starmer now. I know you guys been waiting for this one. We can talk about Starmer now, right? Yeah, we can. It's important we talk about Keir Starmer now. Oh, God, Keir Starmer, folks. Okay, so Keir Starmer's numbers have gone high. Yeah, not about deportation. We're not talking about deportation numbers, but his numbers has gone high. He has managed to beat Boris Johnson. This is dangerous. This is crazy. Not in deporting people, but in letting people in. Now look at this. Look at this beautiful graph here. Look at this graph. Beautiful freaking graph, eh? Look at this. This is Keir Starmer's numbers right now. This is Keir Starmer's numbers. Look at that. Okay. So 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 was highest as hell. That was the highest, okay? And these, of course, the main person who was in charge during that time was Boris Johnson, right? And yeah, maybe we can say a month with, maybe we can say, oh yeah, Rishi Sunak and what's that girl that did 1 month? Liz Truss. I really do have respect for Liz Truss, but I just can't believe that she went in and she did 1 month and she quit. If she had so much conviction about what she wanted to do, I would not leave. If I had a plan, if I have a plan of my country and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to do this. This is the best thing I can do. I'm sorry, I'm not leaving. This is what the left do. They don't just resign because people are sad. No, they stay. They stay. Keir Starmer's approval rating is like 15%, 10%. Well, guess what? He's out there smiling like his approval rating is skyrocketing. Because he has his plan and he's not going nowhere. He wants to stay the next 3 years until the very end. He's not leaving. He's going to hang into it. Just like Joe Biden did. Joe Biden was sleeping. He was falling. He was shitting himself. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't do anything. But guess what? He was clinging on to power. He was holding the power. He didn't want to let go. This is what the left do. They don't let go. They hold it. They're like holding it hard. Yeah, of course, Keir Starmer's numbers could be, approval rating could be high. But guess what? His boats crossing higher as hell. He has managed to beat Boris Johnson. In just 9 months, he's managed to beat him. Fully done, beat. Now look, so Boris Johnson of course, he had his time in Parliament as a Prime Minister. A lot of votes came in during his time. But after Boris Johnson, we had Rishi Sunak, we had Liz Truss, then Rishi Sunak. But you have to see, a lot of votes come through Boris Johnson. But now, the numbers of people who have come and joined Keir Starmer has beat Boris Johnson already. So imagine the next 4 years with this guy. Man, we're gonna have, I don't know, it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be way too late. Look at this. Look at this. This is another graph. Look at this graph as well. Look at that graph. Look at that. That's how many people have entered. Boris Johnson, right, okay. Theresa May, 1,000. Okay, Theresa May, she didn't have the big votes as obviously when she was in power. We were still in a Brexit hadn't happened yet, and only the people in the ferries were coming in, and we weren't really focusing on that side as much. We were doing all this return. We had the Dublin Agreement in where we could return people, but it wasn't really effective. Hence the reason we wanted to leave, and so we can take control of our borders and take control of everything. So Theresa May, only 1,000 people came through. Rishi Sunak, 61,000 people came through. By the way, Rishi Sunak was there for a few months. Yeah. And then Boris Johnson, 65,000. And Boris Johnson was there for time, right? But look at Keir Starmer within 9 months, folks. Within 9 months. 66. He already beat Boris Johnson. Keir Starmer is just flying so many colors. And then look at how much it cost. Look at how much it cost, all right? This is how much it cost. Wow. This is insane. Starmer's numbers contribute to 34% of the costing of the obviously the £1 billion that it cost. And I think these numbers kind of wrong, to be fair. I think these numbers are wrong. Well, no, in a sense, they're not wrong, but I think it's higher than that. This is just calculating the people who come in and how much it cost. How much it cost for us to pay for them, But there's more that we do for them. There's more that we do. We pay for all this stuff that we do for them. So there's more that we do for them. And so I think the cost is way higher than what it is today. It's not just £7 billion overall. No, we're paying billions a year. So you can't tell me this is just 7 billion. No, I think it's way more than that. It's way more. It's way more. But here's the interview that we did with Danny Tomo, and this is what he thinks about this situation. Listen to this.
When the logistics of this is very, very simple. It doesn't need to be difficult. The logistics of this is you get on a ferry, you come off the ferry, and you drive 15, 20 minutes down the road, and you'll be given different locations. And you just make yourself do what we did. You know, go for a walk, bring your flag out, make sure your presence is there, drive past the camps. It's always, do not go on foot. We will be making this very clear. You need to be in a car. You have to be in a car. This does not work on foot. You cannot walk from Calais to these places. It has to be done in a car. It costs very, very minimal amount of money to get over there. It does not take it's 6 to 8 hours. You need to spend 6 to 8 hours rotational consistency for this to work. And this is about, for the police and the locals going, what is going on? I've just seen 3 or 4 car full of lads, and they're all England flags, and they're all patrolling. They're doing exactly what we've done. And there's no difference to what we did. Yeah, okay. In the long term, what needs to happen is maybe we need to get there. People need to get to France a lot earlier and actually be on the beaches and be in the towns before the migrants actually come in. Don't confront them. Don't start any fights. Don't be violent. But your presence there will make the police act. Let's make those that are being paid to do something, let's make them do something by us being there. And the longevity, the long term of this is the absolute goal. But using people's worry about this situation to drag this out and produce something is not the right way. It has to be done right now. It doesn't take a lot. Like tomorrow, I'm meeting 30, 40 lads. I'm going to take the best 20, 10, 5, whatever, and we're going to sign them up and we're going to get this done. So on the 24th, they're going over and they know what they're doing and they're preempted. So when we get to Dover on the 24th and there's people there that are willing to go, then go. Here's different locations. Meet up with people. Go and stand on the beaches with your flags. Take pictures. Go live. We want all the auditors to go with them. This is about pressure. This is about putting pressure and making a statement. If they're invading us, let's go and invade them, but in a controlled, non-violent way. There's just stuff that can be done, and I'm just fed up with the talking, man.
Yeah. This is where we are. This is how easy it is. It's just lay it down. It's like, hey, let's just go. And we're paying France like millions of pounds. 1 in 1 out deal and all the other deals that we've done. And nothing gets done. And Danny Tomo has a plan and he's been doing it. He's done it one time and it worked. Multiple boats were stopped. Yeah, a lot of you guys were saying, oh, it's because of the weather. No, boats were slashed. They couldn't make the journey. Even if the weather was nice, the machine was done. The engine was slashed. So they couldn't make the journey. That's how easy it is. So, and they're not, it's not like they're spending billions of pounds. They're just spending hundreds of pounds to make a ticket there and back. That's it. So it's easy. We know it's easy. It looks easy. It's been, he has demonstrated that it's easy and it can be done. But somehow, our government chooses to look the other way and be like, we're not going to do it. It's too hard, I guess. And that's why I want to bring out these tweets from Starmer. This is the tweets that Starmer made during Rishi Sunak's time. When Rishi Sunak was there and the boats were coming in, 61,000 people came in under Rishi Sunak. This is what Keir Starmer says. Rishi Sunak has lost control of our borders. I will take it back. Full stop. Yeah, that's Starmer right there. And then here's another one. This one's recently, but let's read this. 2020. This is during Boris. Boris just come out. Sorry. God, I've been talking for too long. Boris Johnson and his government has lurked from crisis to crisis and U-turn to U-turn. What? All right, this is what this guy was tweeting about them. to correct one error, even two, might make sense. But when you have notched up 12 U-turns and rising, the only conclusion is serial incompetence. That is what Starmer was saying about other governments, and this is what he tweeted later. This is recent. He says, I'm working day and night to secure our border. I think he's taking the piss. I'm working day and night to secure our border. Oh, God. How short is your day and how short is your night? Because it looks like you're not working, bro. Scrolling online to block people and arrest them is not working, Keir Starmer, all right? Smash the gang and make Britain a fairer and more secure country. God, this guy is just taking the mick out of everybody, man. It's taking the piss out of everybody, folks. He's working day and night to secure our border, smash the gang, and make Britain fairer and more secure country. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think this guy has lost it. There's something that's going on underneath the carpet. I think there's a mission out there. They do not want to stop it. It looks like they can stop it. It looks easy. They've made deals to try to stop it, but nothing has been done. We spent billions of pounds in drones. We have spent billions of pounds in drones. We invested into drones to see when people are about to make the journey and we can stop them. Guess what? It looks like those drones are not being flown around. It looks like those drones, if they are being flown around, maybe they don't have a camera or maybe they crash all the time because it looks like they're not working. Billions of pounds we've spent on those drones. Billions of pounds we've given Macron in this 1 hour, 1 in 1 hour deal. But somehow, hundreds of people are still making their way through the border. Hundreds of people are still making their way through the channel. And this guy wants to tell me that he's working day and night to secure our border. Really? How does that make sense? Maybe he's just trying to insult our intelligence, or maybe he thinks everybody's stupid and can get away with it. And sadly, he's been getting away with it, folks. He has been getting away with it. And it's time for everybody to say, I'm sorry, you gotta go. You gotta resign. Maybe it's time to elect a new face to take care of this matter, because quite frankly, all of them have failed. They've been given chances multiple times. The Tory had 14 years. They failed. Labour has got, a couple months, and it looks like they are just exaggerating the issue. And the Tories, or the Reform, is becoming a new Tory, so I don't even trust them as well, since the same faces will be under a different brand. I mean, what do you think? It's like it's like a Tory, but with a Reform logo in their face. It's like it's a Tory behind, holding a Reform logo. You're thinking, yeah, that's Reform. No, it's a fucking Tory, mate. It's a Conservative. Soon it'll be Rishi Sunak. Soon it's gonna be Boris Johnson running under Reform. That's how bad they're getting. So I don't know. I can't tell you this. I can't tell you which party. I can only report the news and commentate, and also show my frustration and also my appreciation to what these leaders do. But recently, it's been a lot of frustration because they've been doing, quite frankly, like basically nothing. All right, folks. We've come to an end of our broadcast, and I'm gonna try to engage with you guys through the chat. So talk to me. How you doing? Somebody says, Barak, you do your research ? Yes. Next. When you say, oh, Barak, smiley face X. I mean, I don't know what you mean. Oh, Barak, smiley face X. Keir Starmer is a wonker, somebody says. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's not Davos dickhead. Yeah. It's going to be fire in Davos. It's going to be so much fire in Davos today. I don't know what Trump is going to do. Either Trump is going to join the globalists in Davos, or he's going to ruin their day. But we'll see. Somebody says everyone forgot about the Ukrainian rent boys burning Starmer's car, etc. Yeah, I know. We forgot about those young boys who don't know what they were doing for Starmer. I'm not sure what they were doing, but crazy. Kodrek says, you are looking well, Barack. Hope all is good with you and your family. Yes, all is good with family. Family is good. I'm looking well. I've eaten. My belly is full. You know, I'm fine. No worries. No stress. And I'm doing the best thing that I love doing, which is reporting and talking to you guys through this camera. I mean, nothing could go wrong, right? So yeah, I'm doing really well. Thank God. I hope you're doing well too, Kodrex. Somebody said, I would like to echo Starmer's a wanker. Yeah, let's echo it, bro. Let's say it loud and clear. Let's say it loud and clear. Dun, 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 dun. All right, folks, we're going to come to an end of the broadcast, okay? I'm going to be here tomorrow again, same time. Today, we kind of went live later. I think we came live to you guys at what time was it? It was at 4:15. I apologize. We're trying to come on time. Because before we had no timeline, we were just going live whenever we can. We'll go live at 6, we'll go live at 8, we'll go live at 1. That's what it was. But since we got a time to stick on, I know last week we were on time. We were like 4 o'clock, bang on at 4 o'clock. But this week, Monday, we were like 30 minutes late. Today we're 15. Tomorrow we're gonna be maybe 5. And the rest of the week, we're gonna be on time. Actually, tomorrow we're going to be on time. Okay, how about that? 4 o'clock, I'll see you. Okay, but folks, without further ado, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hand to that salute. Hey, wait. One more thing. Get yourself some t-shirt. The nation needs to know. I seen a text saying, Barack, how do I get your merch? You go to thebarakashow.com. So if you go online, so you go to any sort of browser that you have. Oh God, any sort of browser, new tab, then you put the Baraka Show, and then you go. This is what you'll see. You'll be greeted with a nice video of me. And then, of course, you'll see all these lovely merches that we have. True Founder, can you put the link of the merches in the chat? Lovely merches that we have. And then you can pick yourself one. We got the Baraka pick. This is the Baraka picks, right? On the Baraka picks, I don't know if you guys can see this, but on the Baraka picks, we have, are you having arrestable thoughts? So Tisha says, are you having arrestable thoughts? That's one pick. And then we have, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. That's one. And then of course, we have the nation needs to know, which is obviously our media slogan, the nation needs to know. And then of course, now we got a new one. I fund the truth, not propaganda. That is the truth. I like that one. But this one's the official. This one's the media outlet slogan. The nation needs to know. So please get yourself some merch. Actually, should we end this live stream with like a good what we say? A good outro. Let's change the outro, shall we? Let's do a different outro today, okay? Let's do a different outro. All right. Let's do a different outro. So let's do this. Okay. All right, let's end it with a nice, lovely outro about the merchandise. We have so many merchandise. Sorry, we have so many outro, but we never really used many. I like one, and we use that one, the same one all the time. But this one is the one we're gonna use today. Okay, let's do this one. Oh yeah, let's do this one. All right, folks. All right, so let's just go back. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. And when we do the switch, we're going to switch. All right, let me do my exit. Thank you so much for watching this video. Well, thank you so much for tuning in the live show. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, hand to the head salute. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you. Attention. This is not just a normal t-shirt. This is your battle armor in this war against lies and manipulation and deception. And when you wear this t-shirt, you are not just making a statement. You are drawing a line in the sand. And you're saying, I will not be silenced, I will not be bought, and I will not be steered. Every thread in this t-shirt screams defiance. Every letter of I found the truth, not propaganda. Or maybe every letter of the nation needs to know is a rally cry out for independent thinkers, disruptors, the people who refuse to bend to the mainstream media narrative. We need your fund, and this is your chance to stand up, to speak out and fund the fight for the truth. Don't just wear it like a regular t-shirt. You have to live it. The nation needs to know you're gonna live it. Yes, please. I need you to fuel the resistance. Be the reason why the truth survives in this country. Please get yours at thebarakashow.com. And thank you so much for keeping us on air. Thank you.
In the shadow of the digital gulag, we fire up the truth cannon and blast through the lies.
And the show host, Baraka Amuri.